Hello students, welcome to TSAT. Welcome to the classes on Indian Polity Prelims TSPSC series. As part of Group-1 TSPSC exam, we have started Indian Polity classes. As part of it, in the last class, we have already discussed center-state relations. Today, continuing the series, let us see a very important topic. Expected questions will be there from this particular topic, and that is your local governance. That is your local governance. This local governance is also called decentralized democracy in India. It is also called decentralized democracy in India. Now let us see some basics about the local governance, and let's continue to see some important objective type related questions. Now in India, local governance is generally divided into two types. The first one is called Panchayati Raj institutions, and the second one is municipalities. Panchayati Raj institutions or municipalities as such has been not recognized constitutionally in the original constitution. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act gave Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities constitutional status. Panchayatis are discussed in Part 9 of the Constitution, Part 9 of the Constitution, and municipalities in Part 9A of the Constitution. And Part 9 consists of Articles 243 to 243O. And coming to municipalities, it consists of articles from 243P to 243ZG. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act also added 11th schedule to the Constitution, and municipalities 74th Amendment Act added 12th schedule to the Constitution. 12th schedule to the Constitution. 11th schedule consists of 29 functions to be performed by Panchayati Raj institutions, and 12th schedule consists of 18 functions to be performed by municipalities. So this is some basics about the local governance. The Panchayati Raj institutions is divided into 3-tier system. Municipalities is also divided into a 3-tier system. Now in Panchayati Raj institution, the 3-tier system includes a Panchayati Raj should be constituted in village level, intermediate level. Intermediate is also called Mandal in AP Telangana, and the third one is district level. I am repeating this. A Panchayati Raj institutions shall be constituted in 3-tier system: village level Panchayati, intermediate level Panchayati, and district level Panchayati. This intermediate level Panchayati is also called Mandal Panchayati in AP and Telangana. Coming to municipalities, even in municipalities there is a 3-tier system of municipalities: a municipality at Nagara Panchayati, a municipality at Municipal Council, and a Municipal Corporation. So there is a 3-tier system of local governance in India. Now this local governance as such is nowhere mentioned in the or not recognized constitutionally in the original constitution. But let me tell you this, there are two areas where the term local governance in the original constitution was mentioned. The first provision is Schedule 7. Schedule 7, which divides the legislative powers between center and states, deals with local governance in state list subject, meaning local governance was made a state list subject in Schedule 7 of the Constitution. Secondly, Article 40. Article 40, which is part of directive principles of state policy. So, directive principles of state policy, Article 40 says it is a duty of the state to constitute a Panchayati Raj institution for their self-governance. So, these are the two provisions of the original constitution which discussed about local governance in India. But after 42 years from 1950, in 1992, 73rd Amendment Act and 74th Amendment Act was passed to provide or to give constitutional status to panchayatis and municipalities respectively. Now, this local governance as a chapter is very important for our exam. 1 or 2 questions will definitely come, because this area is something which is expected for the exam. Now, let us continue this chapter and see the first objective type question. Look at the question carefully. As I keep saying this in every class, the main intention why we have started this series is to make you understand 2 things. 1, while reading the subject, how can you frame a question? How can you expect a question? And 2, how the question is framed. So, 2 things are very, very important. I always say knowing is important, but understanding it is more important. To make you understand the subject, we have started this series. So, now let us see the first question. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Statement number 1. Gram Sabha is the foundation of the Panchayati Raj institutions. Article 243G is linked to Schedule 11 of the Constitution. If your guess is C, then you are correct. Answer is both the statements are correct. Now, Gram Sabha is defined under Article 243A of the Constitution. According to Article 243A, all registered voters or members of the village who are part of the electoral rolls are part of Gram Sabha. Now, Gram Sabha is like a village legislature. It is like a village legislature. Now, coming to Article 243G. Now, 243G is linked to Schedule 11 of the Constitution. Now, what is Article 243G? Article 243G talks about the functions of Panchayati Raj institutions. Now, what are the functions of the Panchayati Raj institutions is linked to Schedule 11. Now, in Schedule 11, there are 29 functions which can be performed by Panchayati Raj institutions. Okay. Now, I told you that Schedule 12 talks about 18 functions, right? Now, Schedule 12 is linked to municipalities. It is linked to municipalities, and this is linked to Article 243W. Article 243W, right? Very, very important for the exam. Article 243 capital A defines Grama Sabha. See, Grama Sabha is like a village legislature, village parliament. Like we have parliament in the center, state legislature in the state, and in every village there is a Grama Sabha. Who are the members of Grama Sabha? A person who is a registered voter in that village is part of Grama Sabha. Now, Article 326 of the Constitution gives right to vote to every citizen on the basis of universal adult franchise. A person who crosses 18 years of the age is eligible for vote, and a person who is eligible to vote is part of the electoral roll of that village, and a person who is part of the electoral roll of the village is part of Gram Sabha as per article 243A. So this is your first question related to this. Let's go to the next question. Try to understand the question, very important. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Choose the correct statement. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta is considered the father of Panchayati Raj institutions in India. Is considered the father of local self-governance in India. Okay, look at the question carefully. Now, see, evolution of Panchayati Raj institutions is very important. How Panchayati Raj institutions has evolved in India is something which is very important, because it took almost 42 years from 1950 till 1973 for the Panchayati Raj institutions to get a constitutional recognition. Now, what exactly happened after 1950? See, in 1952, Government of India started a scheme called Community Development Program. In 1953, Government of India started National Extension Service Scheme or Program. See, the main intention of these two schemes is to make village develop, is to make village as a community grow. Now, to make the village as a community grow, the government has bought these two schemes to review the functioning of these two schemes. To review the functioning of the two schemes. In 1957, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta Committee was formed. In 1957, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta Committee was formed. Now, this 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta Committee is the first committee to recommend to constitute a Panchayati Raj institutions by an act. Because 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta was the first committee to give a recommendation to constitute a Panchayati Raj institution by an act, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Mehta is called the father of Panchayati Raj institutions in India. Now, even before we got independence, urban administration started by British. It was in the year 1687, the first municipal corporation was established by the British at Madras, followed by Bombay, Calcutta and many other cities. Now, to improve this urban administration, in the year 1882, Mr. Ripon has given a law, and this law is famously called Magna Carta of Local Self-Governance in India. Because it was Ripon in 1882 who has given a law on local self-governance in India, Mr. Ripon is considered the father of local self-governance. So the answer is C. I hope you guys are following this. Very important for the exam. Which article of the Constitution deals with reservations to panchayatis? Very important. One of the most expected question. Answer is Article 243D. Article 243D of the Constitution deals with the reservations to panchayatis. The Act says there are three types of reservations. Out of these three, two mandatory provisions. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. This is not mandatory. But what is this? Look at this. The act says SC/ST seat reservations shall be made compulsory on the basis of population. SC/ST seat reservation shall be made compulsory in panchayats on the basis of population. 33% women reservation, 33% women reservations shall be made compulsory in the seats. And there is a proposal to increase this 33% to 50% by 1/10 Constitutional Amendment Bill 2011. It is still pending in the Parliament. If this bill is passed, this 33 will become 50, right? But state legislature, if they want, they can give, because local governance is part of state list subject. Bihar made this 33% already 50% reservations to women. Now, what is not mandatory? OBC reservations. Now, OBC reservation of seats is as decided by state legislature. The state legislature has the authority to decide the OBC based reservations in panchayatis. Now, one more question, one more point. Till when this SC/ST seats reservation shall continue? This is linked to Article 334. According to Article 334, SC/ST seats reservations in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly shall be continued till 2030, right, as per 104th Constitutional Amendment Act. So, this is applicable to this also. So, this will continue till 2030. Okay, very, very important now. Okay, this is your Article 243D, very, very important. Yeah, consider the following and choose the correct statement. The duration of the panchayati is 5 years. Correct. The elections of the panchayati shall be conducted before the term. See, before the completion of 5 years. It says before the completion of 5 years, both the statements are correct. Now, remember this, in India, President of India elections, Vice President elections, Panchayati Raj institutions elections are conducted before the completion of term. Before the completion of the term. Now, please be very careful. I want to discuss this more. See, the duration of the panchayat is 5 years from the first meeting after elections. After elections, whenever the panchayati meets, from then it continues for 5 years. In between or before the completion only, elections must be held for the next Panchayati Raj institutions. Okay. If the Panchayati Raj institution is dissolved, right, in between, if it is dissolved, you have to remember two things. One, within 6 months, fresh elections must be held, right? And the new Panchayati Raj institution shall continue only for remaining term. Only for remaining term. Very, very important now. It will only continue for the remaining term. See, these type of points you need to remember for the exam. These type of points will be asked. Try to revise it again, make notes as well. Okay. Which article authorizes the state to constitute a Panchayati Raj institution? Which article authorizes the state to constitute a Panchayati Raj institution? See, simple. I just told you before, Article 40. See, what is Article 40? It says, it is the duty of the state to constitute a Panchayati Raj institutions to make it self-govern, as a self-governed body, right? This is called decentralized democracy. This is called decentralized democracy. And secondly, Article 40 is part of directive principles of state policy. Okay. Now, what is Article 240? Article 39. See, Article 39 talks about many things. Like for example, Article 39 says it is a duty of the state to provide livelihood. It is a duty of the state to ensure socialism in India, equitable distribution of resources. It is a duty of the state to ensure equal pay for equal work for both men and women. And also it says it is a duty of the state to protect women and children. All these are mentioned in Article 39. What is Article 47? See, Article 47 is actually very important because Article 47 talks about three things. One, it is a duty of the state to increase the standard of living of the people. To increase the standard of living of the people. Two, it is the duty of the state to provide nutritious supply of food to the poor. 3, it is the duty of the state to prohibit the consumption of alcohol except for medical research. 3 things. It is the duty of the state to increase the standard of living, to provide nutritious supply of food, to prohibit the consumption of alcohol except for medical research. Local governance as a subject falls under which list? Oh my God, very simple question. State list. So, in Schedule 7 of the Constitution, the subjects are divided into union list, state list and concurrent list. If there is any subject which is part of union list, Parliament has the right to make the laws. If there is any subject which is part of state list, state legislature will make the laws. If there is any subject which is part of concurrent list, Parliament or state legislature can make the laws, right? Now, what is residuary powers? Schedule 7 is linked to Article 246. Residuary powers is discussed in Article 248. Imagine there is a subject. Imagine there is a subject which is not part of Schedule 7, which is not part of any list. Then that is part of residuary list. And any subject which is part of residuary list, Parliament only has the complete right to make the laws. For example, space, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, like this, okay, IoT, Internet of Things, right? All these things are newly emerging technologies. So, they are not mentioned in Schedule 7. So, on those subjects, only Parliament has the authority to make laws. So, this is your answer. The answer is B. Which of the following are the mandatory provisions of the Panchayati Raj institutions? See, it says mandatory, meaning compulsory. Just previously, we have seen there are mandatory and compulsory, reservations in India, in India for Panchayati Raj institutions, discussed in Article 243D, right? Now, let us see. Reservations to OBCs, not mandatory. SC reservations, mandatory. Women reservations, mandatory. So, the answer is B. So, not only SCs, it is also for STs. SC, ST, women reservations. These are mandatory. Now, coming to OBC reservations, these are not mandatory but decided by state legislature. Decided by state legislature. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. 21 years is to be the minimum age for contesting elections to panchayatis. Correct. Panchayati Raj elections is conducted by State Election Commission. Absolutely correct. Answer is C. Both the statements are correct. Now look at this. As per the Constitution of India, any member to contest for Panchayati Raj institutions has to qualify all the qualifications required to become the member of state legislature except age. All other qualifications required to become the member of state legislature is to be qualified, and this age is 21 years. Secondly, Panchayati Raj elections is conducted by State Election Commission, which is constituted as per Article 243K by Governor. The Governor has the authority to constitute. So answer is C. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. 𝗓𝗏𝗻𝗃 Committee is the first to recommend constitutional status for Panchayati Raj institutions. Rajasthan is the first state to constitute PRAs after Balwantrai Mehta Committee recommendations. Answer is C. Now first, both the statements are correct. Now look at this. First we have 1957 Balwantrai Mehta Committee. Then we have 1977 𝗓𝗏𝗻𝗃 Committee. Then we have 1985 G.V.K. Rao Committee. 1986 L.M. Singhvi Committee. Out of all these committees, look at the screen, very, very important. Balwantrai Mehta Committee said to constitute a Panchayati Raj institutions by an act. And as per the recommendations, Rajasthan, Nagpur district became the first state to constitute. But it was 𝗓𝗏𝗻𝗃 Committee which first recommended a constitutional status to the existing PRAs. 𝗓𝗏𝗻𝗃 Committee was constituted by Janata government. Very, very important. Janata government. It recommended almost 132 changes in the existing Panchayati Raj institutions in India. Which article is linked to Schedule 11 and Schedule 12 respectively? Very easy question. Is it Article 243G and W, WG, ST, TS? Answer is G and W. Article 243G, Schedule 11, 29 subjects. Article 243W, Schedule 12, 18 subjects. Very, very important, right? So this is your Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities. See, one question is expected from panchayatis and municipalities for sure. Any current related aspects and important objective type related questions which we have seen, please revise this again, make notes, make sure that you don't miss any single point in this topic because they are expected for sure. And this is for today. So this is Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities for you. We will continue the series on Indian polity constitution with another topic in our next class. Till then, happy learning, keep learning. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.